In this video, I'm going to be going over the newest update in the game, update 2.1.2. So one of the biggest things they added in this update was the guild raid feature. So if you go over to the guild tab, now you're going to notice on the bottom of just this section right here, you now have the raid option. So if you click it when a raid's active, basically what's going to happen is you're going to have 2 attempts per day while the raid is active, and it's your slime versus a raid boss. Once one raid boss gets defeated, another one spawns, and so like this is the 3rd raid boss my guild is on. So it just keeps on progressing. A couple of quick things as far as info here. One thing to note, if you go down to the bottom here, it will just specify there are a couple of things that aren't in effect. So the 4-piece gear for the Dragon Slayer set, so that's the one where when the enemy attacks you, it reflects the damage back. That is not active for this, just due to balancing issues. They don't want that to kind of break it. And then the level 50 ability on the Tower of Elements, the Reckoning Time, where it does % HP to damage to the boss, that also isn't affected. But how it works is you're going to get 2 attempts per day. So you're going to want to equip the best slime you can. I won't show you them right now just because it would take a little time. But you get 2 attempts per day. Your best slime, your best gear. You can use the fountain to equip some like temporary buffs. All your permanent buffs, temporary buffs. That all is in effect. Same with artifacts. The only 2 things that are different are these 2 little features that are disabled, like the 4-piece Dragon Slayer set. But the goal is just to progress and go through as much of the raid as possible and deal as much damage to the boss as you can. By participating in the raid, you're going to get rewards in 2 forms. One, just by this tasks section. So depending on how much damage you deal to the raid boss, you're going to be able to get these guild tokens, which you can use in the guild shop. And then you have a personal ranking. The personal ranking actually doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. It's just kind of so where you can see where you stack up against either all players or your own guild players. And now this all players, that is within your league, because kind of like the other events they do, the guild ranking. So when you're doing this guild raid, you're placed into a league. So my guild right now is in the novice league. Depending on how well your guild places, it can get promoted to a higher league, which just does affect the amount of rewards you can get. So if you see the leaderboard rewards here, and you click that reward button on the top left, depending on where your guild ends up ranking, it depends how many additional guild tokens you can get, as well as gems. So obviously the higher you can place, the better. And then when you promote, the rewards are going to get even better. So it is very important for your guild to all participate and to just try and do as good as you can. So a couple just quick tips on the guild raid. One of the things to be aware of is early on, it is timed, and this is throughout the entire thing, but it is timed. And so I believe it's 45 seconds or a minute you have for your slime to attack the guild boss. And so on earlier levels of the raid, the boss isn't going to deal as much damage to you. On higher levels, the boss will end up dealing more damage. So when you're in a lower level right now, and I didn't do as good today just because I was kind of testing some stuff, but on a lower level boss, you're going to want to maybe go for, if you're a higher level player, you have a lot of powerful slimes and equipment, maybe focus on a build that's more attack focused, because I didn't run into any issues where the guild boss never did any damage to me. The really only limitation was how much damage could my slime output in that 45 second to a minute time span. And so really, you're going to want to play around with that. You're going to want to make sure, obviously, your slime survives, but because you have a time limit, you're going to want to also just play around and pick a slime that can deal as much damage as fast as you can. Another thing they added with this update, and this is a temporary little event they're doing, is an anniversary update, just because it's the anniversary of the game. But what's going to happen, similar to like the rookie little event when you first start the game, It's a 7-day little carnival thing. You're going to be given different tasks to do. They're all very standard, complete boss challenges, defeat waves, merge equipment, open epic chests. And then as you proceed through these, you're going to be able to collect gems as well as these little tokens for progress through the event. Once you get to each of these milestones, you can open a chest to get various rewards. The last one, you're going to be able to get an S tier legendary piece of equipment and a legendary rune. So decent rewards. I mean, something I definitely would just spend the time doing. They did add a sun double S tier slime. It is only purchasable with real money right now. Solax is a double S tier fire slime. And then if we go over to the artifact tab in the shop, they added a couple things here. One of the things is the limited artifact. So kind of like how it works with the equipment shop, but it isn't actually any more expensive. So usually if you want to do a 10 artifact key open, you can do that either way. But if you look at the probability drop rates, they're going to match throughout the entire thing, with the exception of if you go to the limited chest. The limited chest, what it does is it rotates 3 at a time, 3 of these double S tier, or these mythic artifact shards that are used for your double S tier slimes. And so this can be a really good way if you are specifically trying to focus on mythic artifacts. This is going to be something where you can actually time it and try and time your pulls and save up your keys if you are trying to get a certain slime's artifact. So this one, you have the Sanctuary artifact, the Root of Decay, and the Blessing and Purity. These all correspond to certain slimes, certain of the double S tier slimes. So that is something you're going to be want to be aware of. But you can also just purchase them here, especially if you are just focusing on your epic or legendary artifacts. If you don't really care what artifact you're getting, as far as the mythic one goes, doesn't really make any difference. One thing down here, they did add the daily artifact chest pack. So 3 times per day, you can actually exchange 4,000 gems for 10 artifact keys. So if you're trying to grind your artifacts, you can now directly do this with your gems. This is just another nice addition, and one that you can really fast, just like they had in the weekly shop, where you could get some artifact keys. Same with the monthly shop, but you can do it at a lot faster rate just within this daily artifact chest pack if you're trying to really improve your artifacts. That's pretty much all the big things they added. They did add an artifact dungeon leaderboard feature. So if we go to the artifact dungeon and then you click the rank button just on this left side of the screen, you can see all the people in your server who has the highest Dragon Slayer rank. Just kind of a fun thing to see there. If you leave a guild, you can't rejoin that same guild for 7 days. So don't go leaving guilds if you do intend on trying to rejoin that same guild. And then they did slightly adjust the level cap for mythic pieces of equipment. The equipment cap for a mythic piece is 70. I believe they also kind of shifted around the legendary epic, those level caps as well. But that's it for this update. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.